Well, hi, BookTube. Bill Ruttenberg here with the Ruttenberg Library. Wanted to come to you today with weekly reads. Let you get an update on what I've read, what I'm reading, and just the path that I'm going to be taking with my reading. And so, and then just what has been happening this last week. So I told you this is then the first full week of summer for me. We got out of school last week, and so this week we've had our first full week, and basically I've been working on honeydew lists, doing little things here and there around the house, been doing some umpiring down at the baseball field, and my youngest daughter started t-ball this week, and so I'm helping coach her t-ball team. So that has been a blast. It's been absolutely fun, and the group that I'm working with is preschoolers, and they're going to be going into kindergarten. So 4 or 5 year olds, and just introducing the game to them, and it's been a lot of fun. We had a couple of practices this last week, and I'm not used to working with kids that age. When I coach baseball or softball, I'm used to working with middle school to high school age kids, and so this is not just a new experience for them, but it's a new experience for me. But I'm thoroughly enjoying it, getting to introduce the game that has meant so much to me to them, and that's just been a lot of fun. Just to get outside's been a lot of fun. The weather has been absolutely beautiful. It's been in about the 80s, mid 80s, and we've had nice breeze, so the temperatures are perfect, and the grass is growing. So I've been able to mow a couple of times, and just can't complain any. But all right, so let's get into the book stuff, because that's why you're here. First, I wanted to make an announcement. So Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I am going to put out we finally did it. Our buddy read, Peg and I over at the History Shelf, we buddy read Robert E. Lee, A Life by Alan Gelzo. And we literally just got done with the buddy chat through Zoom. And by the time we got done with it, it ended up a little bit long. And so we are going to put it in 3 installments on both of our channels. So hopefully you'll go check out both of our channels. And if you don't know Peg over at the History Shelf, you need to go check out her channel. She has got all kinds of book recommendations over there. She's a book reviewer, a book lover, and has all kinds of books coming in to her house, her new house actually. She's got new shelves and everything, and so they are jam-packed full of great books that she loves to show off, and so we'll check out her channel. But anyway, long story short, we got to chat, and then there was so much stuff to chat about and talk about in this book, and we didn't even hit all of it, but there was so much that we are going to put it into 3 installments, so you don't have to sit down for like an hour and a half, 2-hour video. You'll be able to sit down in like 30-minute installments, 30 minutes or so installments. So please check this out. Monday, Wednesday, Friday on both of our channels, we're going to be putting our discussion up for everybody to look at. So be looking forward to that. This was a really good book, by the way. I can't remember. I know I told you I finished it, but it was a really good book. Gelzo did a good job of being even keeled with his assessment of Robert E. Lee. There was some stuff that we liked. There was some stuff we disliked about the book. And so go check out the chat on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on both my channel and Peg at the History Shelf, her channel, and we'll have that discussion with you. So what have I finished this last week? So let's see. It would have been, was it yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday. I finished Larry McMurtry's memoir, Books. And this was quite the interesting read. This is from Simon & Schuster out of New York, and it is a 2008 book, but it's exactly what the title is, what the title says. It's all about Larry McMurtry's life in books, and in particular, his bookstore, not so much his writing. I didn't know if I thought when I bought it, it'd be a little bit about his writing, because, he's the author of Lonesome Dove and several other books. He wrote quite a few books, actually. His list is fairly extensive, and a lot of his books are big old thick tomes. And anyway, I thought it was going to be a little bit more about that, but it's actually more about his personal collection of 28,000 volumes in his personal library, and then in his bookstore that it traveled around the country depending on where he was living, but eventually ended up in Texas. And that store had over 400,000 copies of books that he was buying and selling back and forth with customers. And it's quite interesting. Most of the chapters, if you're looking for a book that's really good for bedtime, sometimes when you lay down, you want to read a little bit, but you know you're not going to be able to last very long because you're just tired. This is an excellent book for that. If you look, here's chapter 1. It's a couple pages and it's done. Chapter 2, 2 pages and done. So this is like a perfect book to read right before bed because, the chapters aren't long at all. It's just short little stories about his life in books and different booksellers that he dealt with, other book dealers, and some of the eccentric customers that came through the store. I recommend it. It was interesting. So I got that finished. And then this morning, I finished up a new book that's out by John Avlon, and it's Lincoln and the Fight for Peace. And I highly recommend it. And Peg and I talked about this book in our discussion on Robert E. Lee. And so if you watch that and we're talking about the new Lincoln book that's out, this is the one we were talking about. But I just finished this morning, and it is exactly what the title says, Lincoln and the Fight for Peace. So it centers around the years 1864-65 and what Lincoln's plans were for the end of the Civil War and then post-Civil War, so the Reconstruction era. He wanted to bring the United States back together in a peaceful manner. And so the quote from the book that really stands out that is said over and over again is, "Let 'em up easy. Let 'em up easy." And his message had a echoing effect into the future where other leaders listened or didn't listen to him. When you look at World War I, World War II, and then into current conflicts, a lot of what we see with Woodrow Wilson, Franklin Roosevelt, Harry Truman, a lot of their decisions went back to what did Lincoln want? How do we make the end peaceful and successful, the end of a war? And, I know there's a chapter at the end that also talks about like Douglas MacArthur and how he dealt with Japan. And anyway, most of it is about the Civil War, the bulk of it. But the very last section is about, bringing the story to the present and how Lincoln and his ideas and words have affected us in the present day. I recommend it. It was a good book. He did a very nice job of summarizing the end. So that is what I have finished reading. And so now, what am I reading currently? And so, as you guys know, June on the Range has started, and I told you I wasn't going to read a ton of Westerns. I only had a couple of them picked out, but I picked up this one to start with. This is Luke Short's book, The Stalkers, and this is so far a really good story about is he a sheriff or is he just a police officer of some sort? I cannot remember his exact title. Probably not the time to go blank on that. But anyway, he was shot down by some the evil guys in the story, and he ends up, and he can't remember anything. And so anyway, the bad guys get away with their crime, and now this guy is in the hospital, guy got shot, and they're afraid his memory is going to come back. And so now they're going back to try to, just take him out and take care of him. And that's what the story's about so far. So I'm not very far in. I'm on chapter 6, page 38. The book's only 149 pages, so well on my way. I could probably finish this in an afternoon, which I probably will do, possibly tomorrow. Another book that I'm reading, the longer book that I'm reading is, because I told you I finished Volume 2 of Ken Follett's series, Winter of the Worlds. And so that was one of the big, thick, it was like 940 pages. That was one of the big, thick books that was on my reading list. Here's another one of those big, thick books, and this one's 1,024 pages. This is Gone with the Wind, and I am now, 346 pages in. This is chapter 21 that I am currently in, and I'm enjoying the writing. There are some things with the story that really bother me. How Margaret Mitchell shows the African Americans who are in slavery and giving them this happy-go-lucky feeling and stuff. That's really bothering me, and I also mentioned that in the buddy chat. So I'm at the part in the story where Sherman has brought the Union armies, and they have now surrounded Atlanta, and they are now laying siege to Atlanta. And I just got done with the scene where some of the slaves of Scarlett's family slaves are now moving out to the rifle pits to dig the rifle pits, and they're doing it with like a smile, and they're happy about it, and oh yeah, we're gonna win, we're all for the Confederacy and all this. And I'm thinking that is so historically inaccurate. You did not have slaves that were happy about this, and it's really bothering me. I do like Margaret Mitchell's writing. I think it's got a nice steady flow to it. It's not super fast paced, but it reads fast enough. And so anyway, I've been reading about a chapter a day on that. I'll probably pick up speed on that here in the coming days. Another one that I picked up, this was just yesterday or the day before, was Abraham Lincoln's Slavery and the Civil War, Selected Writings and Speeches, and it's edited by Michael P. Johnston, and I am not very far in it. I got the introduction read, and my thought was, as I'm going through this, that I was going to read about a chapter a day is what I was going to try to do, or at least a speech per day, and then just kind of work my way through it in the month of June. And I should be able to get it done in a couple weeks if I'm just doing a speech a day or a chapter a day. But it'll be good because it's Lincoln's own words. I will enjoy it. And then the other one that I'm working on, this will be the last one in the stack, and I just picked this up from the library on, I think it was Thursday. We went to one of our local town's library, so not the one that's in my hometown, but the neighboring town. This was on the stack of new books that have come out, and it's Whisper of the Gods, Tales from Baseball's Golden Age, told by the men who played it. And this is by Peter Gollenbach, and it's basically a whole bunch of interviews from players that played during the 1940s, 50s, and 60s, especially the 40s and 50s. And some of the guys you've heard of, some of them you probably haven't. The stories are just a vast collection, like I said, of guys you have and have not heard of, but very, very good. I'm a baseball fan, and I was just telling my wife at lunch, I said, I don't care how many times I read stories about baseball from the Golden Age. I love it every time. I could spend hours in this stuff, and it's just going through various stories about what was it like during when Jackie Robinson came up and baseball was integrated. What was it like when traveling or getting booted back and forth between minor leagues and major leagues? What was it like to be in the minor leagues? Just various things like that, and it's all from the player's perspective. It's all interviews. He gives like a 1 to 2 paragraph summary of who's going to be writing and just what their career was like, and then he lets the player do the talking. And so I really enjoy stuff like this. I've read stuff like this since I was. I remember picking up biographies on baseball from the 20s, 30s, 40s. Back when I was in middle school, and I absolutely ate them up. I loved them. And so this just kind of takes me back to that same love, that same time period, looking at baseball when baseball was awesome. Still is awesome, but really fun to read about. But anyway, so that's what I am reading right now, BookTube. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I hope you're having a good reading time. Let me know in the comments section, what are you reading right now? Is anything really grabbed your attention? And are you reading multiple novels like I am? I've got a bunch of stuff going. But anyway, I hope everyone's having a great weekend. I hope everyone is getting some reading done. So until next time, until Monday, when when Peg and I's buddy chat over Robert E. Lee, A Life by Alan Gelzo. Remember, that'll be a 3-part Monday, Wednesday, Friday, part 1, 2, and 3 of our buddy chat. So go check that out on Monday. Be looking forward to that. So till then, happy reading.